Hello everyone, and welcome back to more Sonic Colors from the Nintendo Wii. And in this episode, we're going to be going off to...
Next up, the Sweet Mountain. Enjoying our candy paradise is the perfect way to celebrate your next birthday, or to avoid reaching it.
Yep, what Eggman said right there, we're going to be going off to Sweet Mountain. And we're going to start by going through Act 1 towards Act 6 like all the others. However, in this one, we're going to unlock the Drill Wisp and the Rocket Wisp. So, new wisps, new times.
Welcome to the Sweet Mountain. Insulin will be provided at a marginal extra cost. And by marginal, we mean enormous.
Alright, so, Sweet Mountain. As the name entitles, it's pretty much a world with so much sweets, cakes, donuts, and everything else that I sadly cannot have because I'm lactose intolerant. Yeah, that's the thing, really. But one thing I'll mention about, especially when it comes to getting the S rank in this one, is this really important thing that bags it a lot easier, especially when you get to the later levels. Notice how after that there was this thing that said slam. Anytime you get that, where it's a chain of combos, you get 30,000 points from it. So if there's any points where it is possible to get a slam, do not miss it. Whatever you do, and believe me, you will not regret it in the slightest. I might as well mention about some similarities actually when it comes to Sonic Colors and Sonic Adventure 2. One thing I've noticed over time is the ranking system is kind of similar to what you gotta do. In Sonic Adventure 2, it really was all about blasting your way through the stage, as well as performing tricks and getting these extra bonuses up in the top right corner. With Colors, it's the same. With color bonuses, slams, special bonuses, etc. I've always just noticed that over time, really. I also screwed this bit up. One thing I will have is... there are times in Colors where, even like when you're using some of the later wisps, there'll be this sudden freezing where you'll just stop if you're trying to grow or like go through a box and stuff, and that can really mess up your reaction times. And that's why on that bit, sadly, I didn't just go straight through the box and come out of the other side with relative ease, because I couldn't manage to gain control of the analog stick, regardless of whereabouts I tilted it towards. Sonic would just constantly go through all the boxes. At one point, I thought he was actually going to go through every box, which wouldn't be that great at all, would it? This is also the level where Drill is unlocked. So you'll find that after this act is completed, you'll see the little animation of where it goes around the planet and then escapes. I just thought I'd give you a heads up for that in case you're wondering whereabouts it is, where we do actually unlock these wisps. Because in the next level, I'm actually going to be using a wisp from, I think it's the next world after this is where it's unlocked. But the animation won't happen until we get to that, so, you know, that's how it goes. It does have some really good creativity though in Sweet Mountain, because not only is the place covered in sweets and all sorts, but they're used in creative ways where Sonic can interact with them. Like in the minute or so after, when I use this laser shooting across all these diamonds, because color bonus, the loop-de-loop is a donut. Now that's just great. It's a clever way of using food in places and everything. Except there's this little 3D section right here. And when it comes to the rings, for some reason I've always noticed a lot of people, when they're trying to get the good grades in this, even I thought this at first, it helps if you keep all the rings because it helps towards your score. No, that's not really the case. When it comes to collecting rings, it's really just to make sure you don't die, and just it boosts up your score a little bit. Because on this bit, sadly, I actually got hit by that thing. Because I was impatient, I guess. Lost all my rings. But it was still enough to get the S rank. See? Just right there. So that's just proof. Rings, just to keep yourself alive. Don't worry about keeping all of the rings along with you. The same as well, I think, goes for Sonic Adventure 2 and even Sonic Heroes. It's just something that I've recently noticed and figured out. So I hope it helps.
We know they look delicious, but please refrain from licking the rind. That would be disgusting. Do you know where those rides have been? People have been sitting on those rides with their butts. Okay, go ahead. Lick them. Don't say we didn't warn you.
I mean, he's not wrong, is he? Well, looking back on episode 1 of Sonic Colors, I noticed something that, yeah, I kind of probably need to correct. It was a point where I said that when I first played this game as a kid back in 2010, I'm not that young. I'm actually 22. It wasn't really when I was a kid. It was more or less when I just got into my teenage years. It was 2010, right? So I probably would have been around 14, I'm guessing. I just thought I'd put that out there in case you're thinking, blimmin' hell, how young is this dude? If he played, like, Sonic Colors as a kid? I ain't that young, I promise ya. We've got another one of these segments right here, though, where we just mash the A button to win. I was very against that at first. I thought, come on, it's not really that hard mashing the A in order to progress through all of this. But these days, I just think it's charming. And like I said before, people tend to quote this one. We are now moving on to a new Wisp called Hover. This one is not unlocked until the next world after this. Meaning that no, you're not actually supposed to use this in Sweet Mountain right away. It's quite a unique Wisp, really, and the music gives me very strong vibes of Metroid Prime. In fact, I remember some person told me that once, actually. The Hover, though, has a gimmick where it actually depletes very quickly. It's probably the Wisp that depletes its energy the quickest compared to all the others. Which is why probably you don't get to hear the music for that long. But when you do use it, it is able to lock onto a string of rings. And it will send you flying over them, and literally upon pressing the button, you don't have to do anything. It's all automated after that. I think it's more for like doing set pieces, like this part right here. You just press the boost button, and the Hover Wisp follows the trail. It's quite nifty, really. Like with this life up here in order to get that. The Wisps are, of course, needed to get the red rings, but mainly also for extra lives and places. It's just bonus content, if you will. And also the bag that color bonus. I'm bringing that up a lot because this is your go-to, hands down. Also, this slowdown right here is not the capture card, it's the game. This is the game because it's like running on a Wii and stuff, but for some reason it just can't seem to handle all those enemies being broken and the explosions whilst chilling underground. Don't be like let down though, because the performance of Sonic Colors is very good. Like the frame rate and that is great. There's rarely any slowdown times at all. It only seems to be from what I've noticed when you're drawing about, so that's a thing really. There's a little bit of Wisp trivia though I want to tell you guys about. And this involves like the beta development of Sonic Colors. What they do in the final one is Sonic basically just yells out the color that he's doing, right? Before, every time he collected the capsule containing it, Sonic would yell out the word color in terms of like excitement and everything. And they didn't really change too much for laser. He still says laser when he uses it, but the most interesting thing is for drill, he yells spin, whereas in the final one, he goes drill, doesn't he? I always just found that a little bit interesting, figuring out what the things they've changed over time. So there's a little bit of piece of trivia for you. There's a link in the description below, actually, to link to the video showing footage about it, to show you that it is real. And I remember seeing this, because I was super excited for this game back in the day, that's for sure. When I saw this on the O&M magazine, I could not wait.
There's no line at Bake Me Crazy, the ride that simulates what it's like to be baked like a cake. The ride itself lasts an amazing 20 to 25 minutes or until golden brown. Not recommended for our guests who are sensitive to temperatures exceeding 350 degrees.
That's probably my favorite Eggman PA quote in the game. The line delivery, just everything. It's just my sense of humor. Sonic Colors is also available for the DS. Even though I'm playing through the Wii version, there was a DS game that was, I think, released on the same day that it came out on the Wii. And that was the first one that I actually played. Because a long time ago, and I mean like when the Wii had online services along with Nintendo Channel, they occasionally put these demos of games on there, and Sonic Colors was one of them. So I managed to play the DS version, seeing what it was like. It was essentially this like Sonic Rush, but with the wisps. That is the Rocket Wisp. It's one that allows you to shoot straight up towards the air, and then you can use that to basically do a skydiving and make your way down. The thing I like the most about it is the presentation, because when you use it, the camera pans down, showing the height that you're going up towards the sky. Not only that, but the soundtrack as well for it is great. When you listen to the soundtrack on its own, like, you can literally just put Rocket Wisp and it will play the sound effect. It sounds like a firework going off, even the little noise that it makes in the end. It's just one of those satisfying things, man, what can I say? The route that I'm taking on this, though, is going to be a little bit different compared to what other people do. You see, in Act 3 of Sweet Mountain, what most people do is collect all the red rings twice. So you have to play the act again, because there is one route that you cannot actually get to. However, I'm going to show you that in this one, it is actually possible to collect them all in one single take. I don't really recommend this route though, because it is a little bit odd. It involves some backtracking here and there and careful placements of enemies. This is a slow part though, where I'm really just having to wait on this platform for all eternity as this spike in order to go around everywhere. But at least it adds a bit of strategy and puzzle mechanics, just so that then I can have to keep on my toes whilst I'm going around, otherwise I will fall and die. See, that's the thing. The thing below me is bottomless pit territory. So if you fall in that, you're dead, and then that's it. Your S rank is gone. You have to do it all over again. Which I'm actually pretty content with. I don't mind how if you die, your points just go to 0 immediately, because it is more satisfying to play through the level without dying. I think there were other Sonic games where you could just play through it, and if you did die, as long as your score was high to begin with, you can still have chances of getting the A or S rank. Where it might have even been if he was at a certain place in the level. I remember that happened to me one time in Sonic Heroes. But as you saw right there, because of the enemies, I didn't defeat them, meaning that I could use those in order to make my way back towards there and then use my rocket. Because one problem is, if I use my rocket, I can't get back again until I return to here. If I actually home and attacked on those enemies, I would not be able to make my way back, because, well, you know, Sonic can't really jump that far, can he? This is the route though if you do want to collect all 3 red rings in one single take, because this path you cannot access. If I continued going on forwards, it would literally force me to continue moving on and then just take me straight to the gold ring. I don't know why they put like the red ring and all that bit where you have to destroy everything all around there, but hey, at least it adds a little bit to your score in places. A nice little attention as well is you may notice that the wisps have like this sleeping sort of thing at the bottom left corner. That's to basically say that you can't use it in that bit. And if you do, it's just going to escape and flee from you, meaning that you've just wasted it. So it's better to use it when it's not asleep. It's a nice little attention to detail and adds, I guess, some slight humor to this game too. Anyway, that's the S rank on Act 3 of Sweet Mountain, and that's the end of the episode, so I will see you in the next one.